is likely to be in a position to assess the financial risk of deposit-taking institutions. Deposit insurance helps to build confidence in the financial system as it provides certainty to depositors regarding the safety of their deposits. So how does it work? This is how deposit insurance works. So if you have some money and you take it to the bank, you hand it to the customer service rep who opens a deposit account in your name. So this is that transaction there. But what does the bank do with the money? The bank does not just hold this money in a corner in a safety deposit for you until you are ready for it, but it uses this money to offer loans and other services, as well as to provide facility for you to be able to withdraw your funds, because you would also want to know that when you make a deposit, you can withdraw your funds. What you might not know about the bank is that it also pays a premium to the JDIC each year. If the bank that you save your money in, that you have just put your deposit in, fails, so that is the bank. If that bank fails, then that is where JDIC comes in. And let me see who can tell me what is the jingle for JDIC. If I start JDIC. Oh, wow, give yourselves a cheer. That was very good. So everybody knows the jingle. The JDIC will pay depositors up to a maximum of $600,000 per depositor per institution. Now that is, if you have $600,000 in the bank and the bank fails, you get the entire amount back in deposit insurance payment. That is the guarantee. What you should also know is that there is separate deposit insurance coverage based on the ownership category. And what do we mean by ownership category? These are the different ownership categories. If you have an account in your name only, we call that an individual account, and it is recognized for deposit insurance coverage separately from the second category, which is joint account, which is if you decide to open an account with someone else, maybe a loved one. I hope it is someone that you trust, that you would open a joint account with. This account is called a joint account, and we recognize that separately for deposit insurance payment. You may also open a business account as a sole trader, a partnership account, a company account, or an unincorporated association account, as well as a trust account or a nominee account. If you have deposits in each of these categories of accounts, you will receive separate deposit insurance coverage for each category. Let's see how we calculate deposit insurance payments. Let's say John Brown has an individual account, has two individual accounts, one with $100,000 and another with $700,000. The total that he has in that bank is $800,000, and that is an individual account. If that bank fails, deposit insurance will pay John Brown $600,000. But that's not where the story ends. If John Brown also has a joint account with Mary Brown, in addition to in the individual account as illustrated in the slide, so he has an account with Mary Brown, that's $900,000, and his individual account is $800,000. Then deposit insurance will pay John Brown in the capacity of as an individual depositor $600,000, and in the capacity of John Brown and Mary Brown, we will also pay another $600,000. So the total is not $600,000 that you can get at any point in time. All right. JDIC also offers separate deposit insurance coverage for each institution or policyholder. And by policyholder, we mean the 7 commercial banks that Mr. Summon just talked about, 3 building societies, and 2 trust and merchant banks. And the policyholders, as I said, are all deposit-taking institutions that are licensed by the Bank of Jamaica. Now, I'm sure that I heard a rumbling in the audience when I said $600,000 is the coverage limit. But who has $600,000 in the bank? All right, I don't necessarily want to know your business. The survey that we did of the bank accounts in the banking system showed that at the $600,000 coverage limit, 97% of the deposits in the banking system are fully covered. It means that if you have more than $600,000 in the bank, you're in that tiny part there, you're in the minority, and you might not be in the category of a small depositor. And I would like you to also know that at 97% deposit insurance coverage, the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation's coverage of depositors ranks among the highest in the world. These are some of the examples of deposit accounts that are covered by the JDIC. Savings accounts, checking accounts, certificates of deposits, money orders, and foreign currency deposits. So if you are covered by deposit insurance, how you never get to pay for it? Who pays for deposit insurance? In 2 words, the bank, right? The bank pays premiums to JDIC, and JDIC invests this money and maintains it in a deposit insurance fund, which has grown over the years to now reach $9.1 billion. So we have funds to protect your deposits. So how do you access deposit insurance? Deposit insurance is free to the depositor, but paid by the bank. It is paid by the bank, but it is free to each of the depositors in the banks. Deposit insurance is automatic. There is no requirement to make a claim for deposit insurance. So, if you don't make a claim, how will we know how much deposit insurance to pay you? Deposit insurance payment is based on the records of the bank or building society which you deposit your money in. Deposit insurance payments will be made as soon as possible after the failure of the bank. And there's also a statutory requirement that if we do not pay you your deposit insurance payments within 3 months of the failing of the bank, we have to give you interest on the deposit insurance payment. While we're talking about what is covered, what you should also know is what is not insured by the JDIC. Now, any product that is offered by the following institutions are not covered by the deposit insurance scheme. These institutions are credit unions, money market brokers, investment firms, insurance companies, and pension funds. But we have a lady here who will tell us about the non-deposit taking institutions and the regulation of those entities from the FSC. So you will hear that shortly. The final thing I want to talk about is who should protect your money. We all have a role in protecting our money. After all, we worked hard for it. So we all have a role in guarding the financial system. The board and management of each financial institution is required to ensure the proper running of the institutions. That's one of the roles that we have. The board and management has that role. But the best guardians of the financial system are the savers and investors themselves, as they are the masses, and it is their money that is helping the institutions to stay profitable. So we need to gain as much knowledge about financial products and services as possible as savers and investors. And with this, I invite you to visit the booths outside of the presentations and see what the financial houses have to say about their products and services. Now, the safety net partners also have a role to play to ensure the proper regulation and monitoring of the financial system, and also ensure that there is a promoting of confidence in the financial system. And this is where the JDIC comes in. The role of the JDIC as part of the financial system safety net is to protect depositors in the banking system. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Lady is currently the communications manager at the Financial Services Commission, FSC, where she has specific responsibility for public education and communication and marketing activities of the organization. Now, she has extensive experience in public relations and communications. Since 2006, her job at the FSC has encompassed generating interest and organizing events and activities geared towards educating the Jamaican public on the functions of the FSC. Now, it also includes the importance of practicing safe investment and planning for retirement. Now, Miss Newsome holds a Master of Arts in Communication Studies and a Bachelor of Arts in English and International Relations from the University of the West Indies. And if you still don't know who I'm talking about, you see her on the television all the time, and you hear her on radio all the time talking about the FSC and you, and you always hear say, you register with the FSC? Who know that ad? I think so. That's what put money. You register with the FSC. Now every time I ask, you say, give me some money that you register with the FSC. So it's now become, of course, a statement that we all use. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please, for Miss Nadine Newsome. She's the communications manager of the FSC. She's going to be talking to us about think and check before you invest.
Good morning, almost 12 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. The title of this presentation is Think and Check Before You Invest. And by now, everybody should know that tagline. Just before I get into that, though, you might have heard earlier what the FSC does. And the role of the FSC is to supervise and regulate the securities, insurance, and private pensions industry in Jamaica. Our mission is mainly to protect all the users, investors of financial services in the areas of insurance, securities, and pension. And we do this by fostering integrity, stability, and health of the financial sector. We oversee the registration, solvency, and conduct of approximately 614 firms and over 4,800 individuals doing business in this sector. Now, I'll tell you why regulation is very important later, but I want to tell you that Jamaica's financial landscape is really what we would call very colorful. We have a variety of financial institutions out there that are waiting to fulfill your needs, whether it is in relation to banking, foreign exchange, insurance, investing, pensions planning, and offering loans. Now, one of the main reasons why we're here today is to impart information about these financial institutions and products that exist in the Jamaican marketplace. Financial knowledge is extremely important depending on what your goals are. Financial knowledge will help you to make better decisions with your money, help you to plan your future, save and invest to meet specific goals, and it will most importantly help you to avoid taking risk in unwise financial investment. Now, investing. What is investing? Investing towards your goal is very important, but a lot of people often confuse investing with saving. Investing is when you put aside money to increase the value in the future. So sometimes you'll hear the statement that the FSC regulates the securities industry. That's another word for investing. Securities is basically if somebody or an institution should come to you and say, give me a portion of your money and I'll offer you an increase in value on that money in the future. Now, once that person is promising you a return, then that is a product that requires registration with the FSC. So investing is really very important. It will help you to earn money to achieve your goals. It is the act of committing money to an endeavor with expectation of making a profit. Investing could be investing in a pension plan. It could be investing in stocks, bonds, money markets, real estate. You'll hear more about some of those products later. But a variety of products are there that you can explore to fulfill whatever your investing goals are. One of the things the FSC always say, though, that before you hand over that money, you ask a very important question. Are you registered with the FSC? Right? Once you ask that question, that will tell you where to go from there. It will inform you as to whether you talk to the FSC about this person that you're about to invest with. It will also tell you whether you can also check the FSC and say, ask, how long has this company been registered with you? You know, certain details you would be able to garner once you ask that very important question. The main reason why the FSC exists, or the FSC is a regulator, is to protect the investor. And the FSC licensed dealers and investment advisors. So any person who is approaching you, telling you what kind of instrument to invest in, that person should be registered with the FSC. The FSC also ensures that licensed dealers are fit and proper, meaning that they are capable to handle your money and that they have adequate capital. The FSC monitors these institutions to ensure that the financial condition of the dealers and the institution is correct and take remedial action when problems arise. So we encourage sound investing because it can allow you to accumulate wealth and acquire assets. It can help you to put aside money for your goals and emergencies. It can help you to achieve certain short-term goals, such as paying your children's school fees, paying your bills, starting up a business venture. The main thing that you should do, though, is to get information about whichever investment product you plan to invest with. Do research before you take that very important step. Ask questions. Look at financials. If you don't understand the financial statements, ask somebody to explain it for you. All investors, whether large institutions or private individuals, should have and be able to provide access to certain basic facts about an investment prior to buying it and as long as they hold it. So here are some general tips. Ask question. By now you know the first one you're gonna ask. Did the FSC register this investment? Get full information about the person or entity that you have chosen to invest with. Ask for balance sheets and income statements. Ask for contracts. Ask for their previous performance. Have somebody get somebody who is a financial expert. Get somebody who is an accountant. Most of us have friends out there who know more than us about financial information. Let them tell you, let them interpret what this type of information is saying. You can also call the FSC. You can find out from the FSC whether they have any knowledge of the person or entity, whether they're licensed and registered, and if they need to be licensed and registered. Because as you might have heard earlier, we only register the pension, insurance, and securities industry. Now, a very important thing for you to also remember is that although the FSC exists, governments, laws, regulators cannot tell you where or with whom to invest your money. But it is important that you keep yourself informed and skeptical regarding extraordinary investment claims. A lot of times we'll see persons or hear through the grapevine about an entity that is offering very high returns, 10%, 20% per month on your investment if you give them a certain amount, and in 5 years you will be a millionaire. When you hear those extraordinary investment claims, if it sounds too good to be true, it is, right? So think and check before you invest. The FSC, in carrying out our responsibility, also helps to ensure that investors receive all the information they need in order to make prudent decisions. So you cannot rely on the efforts of the FSC alone in order to ensure that your funds are safe. Although we are a regulator, fraudsters try a lot of times to defraud or to hide information from the regulator. So we rely on the public for information. If there's something that you're querying that you have heard about a particular investment product and you're not sure, maybe the regulator has not heard. So we encourage you to call us and tell us about this information and ask us to investigate, because we also have a department at the FSC that handles complaints and investigate issues when they arise. Now, I have to touch on this because many persons think that once they see something on the internet or on the computer, it is a fact. And it is true, and Jamaica hasn't heard about it yet. So we need to catch up. So I need to hurry and do this until Jamaica catch up. I am telling you to be careful about investing online. Be careful about sending your personal and or your financial information without doing the adequate due diligence. Remember I told you, still ask the question, are you registered with the FSC in Jamaica? If you're not, who is your regulator? Who is overseeing this investment? But do your research. Still ask for financials. Still ask for information about whatever you're being offered. A lot of us get emails. I often get emails about a relative in Nigeria. I don't know if many of you know of that one in Nigeria who has died and is unable to locate anybody to hand over the money to, and they're asking us to send them by email certain details so that they can get some of the money to us. Be careful about passing on your personal and financial information in that manner, because a lot of times it could be a hacker that is actually trying to get your information. So be careful about scamming text messages, emails, phone calls that appear to be from legitimate businesses. Be careful also about opening attachments from emails you receive. Use good judgment when networking on the internet. So you might even see an email from your bank, from one of our legitimate bank in Jamaica, asking you for certain financial information. Call them. Ask them. I'm sure they're waiting for you to call to find out if this email that you receive from them is legitimate. And a lot of times our financial institutions know exactly how to get in touch with you other than sending an email or sending a text message. So keep in touch with your financial institution. Get expert advice. Now, remember I told you that we register financial advisors and we register and license financial advisors. And if you enter a financial institution, you can ask to speak with a licensed financial advisor who can help you to plan your financial goals, prioritize your goal, know your risk appetite, learn about all the different investment options, and they can actually help you to create an investment plan to show you how much to invest, how long to invest, and the right type of investment for you. So the main thing is to take action now. Financial knowledge, financial information is very important. Read books, get informed. Read financial magazines about money management and investing. Get interested in TV shows and listen to radio programs that discuss money issues. Surf the internet for websites that teach financial success. Financial principles like budgeting, planning for retirement, a lot of them exist. Attend seminars. Listen out for the FSC, the JDIC, and the Stock Exchange. We have frequent seminars, public seminars that are open to the public. Also, whenever you get this financial information, share it with your friends and relatives. Just some quick final tips. Take the time to investigate a possible investment opportunity before you hand over your hard-earned money. Ensure that the individual or company has been licensed with the FSC. Closely examine the financial information from this company or these persons. Remember to be certain that you are comfortable with any document that you are asked to sign. Do not hesitate to get a second opinion. If somebody gives you a form, tell them you'll take it home, read the fine print, and come back to them another day. Do not allow anyone to rush you to make financial decisions. Make sure that you understand the level of risk you are taking. Right? If somebody tells you that an investment carry no risk, you'll hear about it maybe later from Robin Levy from the Stock Exchange. But make sure that you understand the level of risk you're taking before you make an investment. Always pay attention to what investments you are buying and always seek advice if you do not understand. Remember to take an interest in and monitor your investments carefully and regularly. A lot of persons don't know that if you have an investment with an entity, that you are entitled to receiving quarterly, whether quarterly, annual, or maybe half yearly financial statements about that investment. So you can request financial information about any investments that you have. Do not hesitate to seek guidance from the FSC, especially if you are not satisfied with the quality of service that you're receiving from your securities dealer or investment advisor. And remember, if it walks like a duck or quacks like a duck, it is a duck. Be careful